My chief said a bespoke mahogany door was worth more than my career. He fired me while my lungs still burned from saving his daughter. 5 years later, she saw my scars and realized her father had discarded the man who saved her life.
Yo, welcome back, family. Real talk, we appreciate you being here. Let's watch Dawson take back the throne he actually earned.
The air on the 40th floor was a pressurized oven, a thick, toxic soup of carbon and melting luxury plastic. I could feel the heat through my heavy turnout gear, a prickly, stinging warning that a flashover was seconds away. But through the roar of the fire, I heard it, a faint, rhythmic cough coming from behind a massive gold-inlaid barrier. It was the bespoke mahogany door my chief, Handerson, had spent the entire ride up warning us not to scratch. To him, it was a masterpiece hand-carved in Italy. To me, it was a coffin lid for his own child. I didn't hesitate. I swung the Halligan tool with every ounce of muscle I had left in my shaking body. The wood splintered like glass, the gold leaf peeling away as I kicked through the reinforcement to reach the girl. Inside, the room was a velvet-lined death trap. I found Kimberly unconscious on a silk rug, inhaling the toxic fumes. As I lifted her, the structural integrity of the penthouse gave way. A massive, burning support beam snapped above us. I didn't have time to run. I tucked her head into my chest and braced my forearms against the timber. I felt my skin sizzle as the heat melted through my protective layers, branding my arms with a permanent grid. I dragged her out through the embers, my body screaming in absolute agony as the fire licked at my heels. I staggered through the lobby, handed Kimberly to the medics, and collapsed on the wet pavement under the heavy rain. I expected a father's gratitude, but Handerson only looked at the charred, splintered remains of his $20 million door. He didn't check her pulse, he checked the wood. He hissed that I was a liability to the department's image.
That door was a hand-carved Italian commission, Dawson. You destroyed a $20 million asset. I gave you a direct order to vent the roof. You chose to play hero and burn my legacy to the ground. A simple rescue? Your daughter was suffocating in there, Chief. She was minutes away from being ash. I chose her life over a piece of wood, you coward. You were going to let her die for a door. You don't talk to me about choice! You're a liability to this department's image and my reputation! Hand over your badge now, or I'll have the cops arrest you for reckless endangerment and arson. I have third-degree burns saving your fair family, and this is how you're paying back? After 10 years? Fine. Take damn badge. It doesn't mean what I thought it did if you're the one wearing it.
He's the hero, Dad! You're just a man standing in the rain with a pile of expensive trash! Dad? What is happening? Why is he leaving? He's the only reason I'm still breathing!
That rescue was heavy. If Dawson's heart moved you, drop a comment and hit like. Let's show love for real bravery.
Handerson did not just fire me, he erased me. He called every chief to label me an unstable, reckless arsonist. The rain washed the soot from my face, but it could not wash away the sting of Handerson's cold betrayal. I spent the next 6 months in and out of clinics, treating burns the department refused to cover for me. I sold my truck, I sold my gear. Eventually, I was forced to move into a damp and dark basement. For 5 long years, I lived in that hole, working 3 jobs just to keep from starving to death daily. I shoveled snow in the winter until my joints ached and unloaded heavy crates at the docks until night fell. I became a master of being invisible. I took a night shift janitor position at a massive corporate headquarters downtown today. I spent my nights scrubbing away the footprints of the elite, men who didn't even know I existed at all. I cleaned the grime from the glass and emptied the trash of men who weren't fit to carry my gear. I hid my arms under long sleeves even in the brutal summers, ashamed of the silver jagged reminders of fire. Every time I saw a red fire truck, my heart broke. I was a ghost watching my old life pass. The janitor uniform felt like a prison cell made of gray polyester that kept my true identity locked away inside. I learned to find quiet pride in the perfection of a polished floor. It was the only thing I controlled. 5 years of silence, 5 years of grime. I was waiting for a light I thought was gone forever now. Then came the Solstice Gala. The elite gathered, smelling of expensive lilies and champagne that made me feel quite nauseous.
Look at this floor. It is filthy. You, janitor, get down here and clean this mess off the marble. Move! That wine will etch the marble and ruin the finish. Pick up the glass before someone slips. I am working as fast as I can, sir. I did not see you standing there when I was mopping. Don't speak to me. Just clean it. People like you are only here to serve the prestige of this room. You're an eyesore in this uniform. Once you finish that, stay in the service corridors where you belong. Understood?
Leave him alone. He is just doing his job. There is no need to be so cruel to the staff.
I say, what a mess.
I'm so sorry. Please ignore him. He's had too much to drink and has forgotten his manners entirely tonight.
It is fine, ma'am. I am used to people looking down on me. I will have this cleaned in seconds. Enjoy your evening. I won't trouble your prestige any longer than I absolutely have to.
We've all been at the bottom. Tell us your struggle below and subscribe. Don't miss this man's epic rise to power.
Handerson intentionally dropped his crystal glass near my feet. I knelt to pick up the shards, jaw clenched in rage. I reached for the final piece of glass near his feet. My sleeve caught on the sharp metallic table corner. The fabric tore with a loud, sharp sound. My scarred arm was suddenly exposed to the bright, unforgiving ballroom lights. I tried to pull back, but the damage was done. The air in the room suddenly turned ice cold and silent. The silver ridges of my burn marks were a map of my sacrifice, a topography of the night I saved. Kimberly stepped forward. She didn't see a janitor. She saw the man who held her while the world burned down. She grabbed my wrist, her fingers tracing the scars she had seen through the thick smoke 5 long years ago. Handerson tried to claim I was a back alley brawler, but his voice was shaking with a sudden pure, sharp terror. The status flip began. The power in the room shifted from the man in the tuxedo to the humble janitor. The silence that followed her scream was the most beautiful sound I had heard since the day I was fired. Kimberly turned toward the shocked board members. Her voice carried the weight of 5 years of hidden, painful, ugly truth. She revealed that her father had lied, calling my heroics a crime to protect a $20 million wooden door. Handerson tried to stammer an excuse, but my scars spoke much louder than any lie he could possibly ever tell. He was no longer the powerful consultant. He was just a small man who had traded a life for mahogany. Kimberly announced that the city's $50 million safety contract was being pulled from Handerson's firm with immediate and permanent effect.
You told me he was a monster, Dad. You said he burned our house down for thrill and for fame.
He was dangerous, Kimberly. He destroyed millions in property. I was only protecting our family assets and a high reputation.
You protected a door while he protected me.
I do not need your apology, Handerson. I just want the 5 years you stole from my life back today.
You have them, Dawson. This department needs a real director. Someone who knows that lives matter more than mahogany wood.
Henderson, leave your keys and your pride at the door. You're done. Dawson, welcome to the senior executive board. You can't do this. I built this legacy. You're choosing a janitor over a man of high social standing? Thank you, Kimberly. I never expected to be seen again, let alone to lead the people who once ignored me.
You were never invisible to me, Dawson. You were the light in the smoke. Let's go build something better.
Comment J Justice if you felt that. Share this with someone who needs to see that scars only make a leader stronger.
I saw Handerson being led away, stripped of his dignity, just like he had stripped me of mine long ago. I walked out of that gala not as a ghost, but as a man who finally reclaimed my stolen identity. The janitor uniform is in the trash. The director's suit is my new skin. I am home at last today. I am no longer ashamed of my scars. They are the proof I was stronger than the fire that tried. Integrity isn't something you buy. It is something you carry in your skin. Some fires forge a real, true hero. The $20 million door is gone, but I am finally standing exactly where I always belonged in this world.
True strength is forged in the hottest fires. Your deepest scars are not marks of shame, but proof of resilience. Integrity cannot be bought or stolen. It is the quiet dignity you carry when nobody is watching your every move. Greed eventually collapses under its own weight. Truth always finds a way to the surface, restoring those who were wronged. You belong where your character takes you. Rise with honor, and you will eventually stand exactly where you were meant.